Hi everyone, Tom here from getCTOwned. Welcome to the channel. This is my first video. I'm currently on a weekend away in Dorset on the south coast of the UK, and today I'm going to talk about 3 things that you can do to progress quickly through the ranks of IT support and get yourself off the help desk. Thanks for watching. Hi everyone, Tom here from getCTOwned. And this is my first video. Like I said in the intro, I'm back from Dorset now, and I'm going to talk to you about 3 things that I believe can really help you progress through the ranks of IT support, get yourself off the help desk, and get yourself doing something that interests you. It's technical, it drags you in and makes you hungry to learn more and more. No one wants to spend their life on the help desk, and you don't actually have to. If you just do a few things, take what I'm about to tell you, do it your own way, do whatever. But I'm using my experience here from the IT industry to try and give you a bit of help along the way. So might as well start. First thing on my list, bit of background on me. So my name's Tom. I'm just about to turn 30, and I'm currently employed as a Chief Technology Officer in a small to medium-sized technology business. I started work when I was 18, left college, and I started work at a help desk on first line support in a Wintel environment. So Windows desktop and server estate, a very large environment, I have to say. And from there, I progressed myself through the ranks of first line support, second line support, third line support, until I got the opportunity to start doing technical design and technical architecture, building infrastructure, designing infrastructure. Here I am today as a CTO, a Chief Technology Officer, where my job is as much about technical strategy and direction as it is having responsibility for the architecture of networks, server estates, etc. So that's a little bit about me. And I think the important thing is my experience in IT goes back 12 years. However, in that 12 years, I've done what I've needed to do. I've created my own opportunities. I've put the time in that I needed to put in order to be able to get what I was looking for out of my career. And in 12 years, I climbed to the top of the IT support ladder, went over to technical architecture and design. Through that process, I specialised in a few different areas. Virtualization being the main one, and looked into networking quite in depth and worked with that quite a lot, and here I am now. So here's 3 things that, based on my experience, I believe could help you progress quickly through the ranks of IT support. Number 1. Learn like your life depends on it. So that means when you come home from a day on a first line Wintel Windows environment help desk, for example, and you've had your dinner, you've had a cup of coffee, and you're starting to relax, now's not the time to relax. You need to open your laptop, turn on your desktop, whatever you've got at home, and you need to be learning. And what should you be learning? Well, based on my experience, my recommendation is that you learn something along the lines of what's available to you in your current professional environment, so your current job. So if you're currently doing first line Windows desktop support, for example, in a on a help desk, there's hundreds or thousands of Windows machines, Windows users. You've got an Active Directory domain environment, for example. Then you should be looking to learn more about the environment you're in, so you can demonstrate those skills and gain real professional experience. If you're working in a Windows desktop environment doing desktop support day in, day out, if you start studying for a Cisco, CCNA, whatever, or another networking certification, that's great, and it will help you in the long run. But you're going to hit the brick wall, which is you've got no way to apply yourself professionally to actually learn how things are really done, how your skills that you've been learning through the books, through the videos, etc., through your home labs, apply in the real world. Whereas if you are getting home after your day on the first line Windows support desk, and you're starting to study more about Windows in depth, you're looking into Windows servers, you're looking into domains, Active Directory, Exchange, IIS, whatever. Anything that's accessible to you in your professional environment, or you can see an immediate route to have professional hands-on experience with, that should be what you're focusing on. That should be your goal. You want to be able to do that. You want to be able to understand more about Windows Server. You want to be able to use Active Directory. You want to understand what group policies are, something like that in a Windows environment. So that's my first main tip. Identify the subject matter that you're currently involved in professionally, and use that to your advantage and focus your learning efforts there. When you do that, you'll be able to make it known to your employers, to the company you currently work for, to your technical superiors, that you're learning, you're hungry for this, you understand it more, and with a bit of talking to the right people, demonstrating your skills to the right people, you can create opportunities to yourself, which allow you to take what you've learned, take your lab skills, take your theory, and apply it professionally, and that's really, really, really beneficial. Just before we move on from point one, let's brush on the tooling and the tools that you can do to help yourself learn. So myself personally, I was a VMware workstation guy. So when I come home from my first line help desk job, I'd have VMware workstation installed on my PC at the time. I remember it fondly because that was the era of the Intel Core 2 Quad, like the Q6600 and whatnot, for those that know. I installed VMware workstation and I started to build Windows domain environments myself. So that was with Windows Server 2003 running as a domain controller or Active Directory. I'd have a few virtual machines that would also be in my virtual network, running Windows XP. And I'd try and understand how a domain works. I was using the official Microsoft study books, I believe, at the time, and that's all the material I had. I mean, nowadays you've got things like YouTube as well. Back then we did have YouTube, but it really wasn't anywhere near the resource it is now. So the books are a fantastic place to start, and you can get really fine, well understood, well explained detail from them. So I have to recommend official study books, etc. But it's great to complement them with video content as well, how-to guides, people showing you what to do, someone explaining it, because someone might be able to interpret the information that's written on paper differently to you, and that's great if you're studying, struggling to get your head around something. Someone explaining it to you from their viewpoint can really help overcome some of those hurdles. So use virtualization software on your home machines, etc. Get creating your virtual lab environments. I mean, you could do physical if you've got the space and you don't mind the noise of servers. You can buy plenty of secondhand server kit off eBay and whatnot. But yeah, you can use tools like VirtualBox, Hyper-V, VMware Workstation. If you're looking at getting into networking, for example, you can build physical labs with cheap used Cisco gear, or you can use simulation tools like GNS3 or Cisco Packet Tracer. On the subject of Cisco, I actually have to give a shout out for the CCNA videos on CBT Nuggets. And CBT Nuggets is an absolutely fantastic video resource for training. Highly recommend it. So there's loads and loads of tools available to you. Take advantage of virtualization on the desktop, on your laptop. Start installing, configuring, building your own virtual environments, and make sure you apply yourself professionally as well by knowing what you have access to in a professional environment immediately, so you can impress the right people, and so you can make it known that you're hungry for this stuff, and you want to get more involved technically. Number 2, take on as much responsibility as you can handle. More sometimes. What does that mean exactly? So again, let's say you're working on the first line help desk. You've got some administrator rights to log onto people's machines remotely and change settings, do bits and pieces. In my experience, unless you make it known that you're looking to progress technically, that you want to take on more, that you want to understand more, that you can understand more and do understand more, then that's all you're going to be left doing. And you will be steamrolled over by recruitment coming in from the outside, for example, or other people that are being more proactive in taking on responsibility. So if in that situation, for example, you have frequent dealings with second line for escalations or something like that, make it known to them that that's what you want to do. You want to be doing more technical stuff. You want to understand more about what you're doing. You want to progress. You want to be doing what they're doing. Engage in conversation with them. Quiz them. Let them know that you're more technically minded than the person sitting next to you. Ask, can you have access to do this? Can you shadow someone else do this, etc.? Can you move to their team? I don't know. Can you do some trial periods there? Is there a route for you to progress? You've just got to be really proactive in taking on responsibility and making it known that you want to progress. And that if you do that, opportunity will arise. And opportunity doesn't come and find you. You have to create opportunities, and then you have to seize them and follow them and get where you want to go. So responsibility, take on as much as you can, as quickly as you can, but don't go in too far over your head, because you'll generally make a bit of an idiot of yourself, or make mistakes that are difficult to recover from. We've all done it, but if you can avoid it, I would suggest it. So take on responsibility, make it be known to people in your current working environment that you want to progress, you're learning, you understand what you're doing more than those around you maybe, and you've got a real hunger for technical knowledge and technical prowess. Tip 3, and that's do what you have to do to get where you want to be. That can be taken very broadly. It's a very open-ended statement. From my experience, what I mean by that is progression opportunities never came and found me. I had to make them for myself or go looking for them. In my first job on a first line help desk, I got a little bit of opportunity quite early on that gave me more admin rights. I got to exercise more technical skill. That inspired me, got me learning more. And I have to say really helped. But it wasn't a jump to what I'd call full second line support or something like that. And there was no clear and immediate route for me to progress in that business. So I went looking for another job. I polished up my CV or resume for you US guys. I polished that up. I made sure I wrote on there what technology I'd been using on a day-to-day basis in my existing first line role. I wrote on there any certifications I gained at the time. At a specific time, it was a Microsoft MCDST in Windows XP. I had that on there. I was writing that I was proactively studying what technologies I was looking to study, where my goals were. I just wanted to make it really clear that I was hungry for technical prowess, for technical progression. I wasn't going to be happy anywhere, just sat there doing the same monotonous job over and over and over again. I really wanted to understand what I was working with, and I wanted to get to the absolute pinnacle of technical understanding of what I was doing. So yeah, polished up my CV, resume, and I went looking for a job. And I was able to identify a second line position working for another company. Should mention that the first two companies I've worked for are two of the biggest technology companies in the world. I can't drop any names, etc. But two of the biggest technology IT firms in the world were my first two jobs. And I was interviewed for that second line position, and I got the job. And immediately I had access to Windows servers. I had access to a team of guys that was high-end second line, third line, that really knew their onions. And I used that to my advantage. I had access now to demonstrate and test myself with what I've been learning, the MCSA I was studying for at the time. I had guys I could ask real technical questions. They could show me how they did things, and it just accelerates the rate of learning. The more technical stuff and technical people you have access to in the workplace, the faster your learning will accelerate, the faster your confidence will grow, because you can apply your learned skills to a real environment. So if there is no route for progression where you're currently working, there seems to be no openings, or there's no appreciation of your newfound skills or anything like that, or no way for you to test them, don't wait for one. You've got to go out and go looking. You've got to create opportunity for yourself. If you sit there on the first line help desk with your mouth shut, doing the same job day in, day out, you're not letting anyone know, or maybe you have, that you want to progress, but there is no way for you to do that, or they're just recruiting in from the outside, then you've got to up sticks and leave and go and make your opportunity for yourself. Otherwise, you'll be sat on the first line help desk for 10 times longer than you need to be. And in the space of 10 years, I've climbed through first line, second line, third line, technical architecture, down to third line again for a bit, back up to technical architecture, and now the position of Chief Technology Officer. If you're hungry for it, and you are willing to put the time in, like I said earlier, forget the work-life balance while you're doing this. You're pursuing a career. You're hungry for technical success, technical prowess. You've got to put the time in, and that means outside of the work environment, you've got to do, I'm going to call it your synthetic learning, with your labs, with your books, with your videos, etc. And then you've got to apply what you've learnt to a professional environment, your workplace, etc., and you've got to let people know that you're doing this, that you're hungry to progress, etc. And if no opportunity makes itself known in your existing environment, then you've got to move and go and find one. And that wraps this one up, guys. Those are three rough things that I think I've lived by to progress myself in the IT support industry as fast as I have. I'm not saying take those as gospel. You can interpret what I've said any which way, shape or form you want. However, that's what I've done roughly to get where I am, and I have to say I'm very happy with what I do now. And now I can apply a bit of work-life balance, but IT for me it's not just a career, it's not just what I do to earn money. It's very much a massive part of my life, and I think anyone that's looking to progress really fast in IT as well will probably be of a similar mindset. Computers and IT aren't just a job for you. You've got a genuine, real interest in them. Anyway, it might be a hobby of some description, or you just really, really enjoy technology. And it's those type of people that are hungry for technical knowledge that will be able to progress the fastest and climb the ranks of IT support. So that's it from me. This is my first video. I apologise if it was boring, but I'm hoping that by me sharing my experience somewhat on how I've progressed in the IT industry since I started at 18, now nearly 30, that will help someone out there, particularly if you're just starting out in IT and can't suss out what it is you need to do or how you climb that ladder, or why some people are and you're not perhaps. Then I'm hoping the tips that I've given you in this video based on my own experiences will help you to understand what it is you can do to make that happen for you. Anyway, guys, if you like this video, you want to see more, please like and subscribe. This channel's not only going to be professional IT and career advice like this. I want to do gear reviews. You see behind me here, I'm a music fan. Hi-fi, things like that, general tech as well as professional IT. So I'm going to try and get as much interesting content up as I can. Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you join me for the next one.